Recap. Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1133, Chapter Luz. In the bustling courtyard of the majestic Heaven Sect's outer grounds, a tense stillness hung like mist before a storm. 4 figures, eyes glinting with malice, stepped forward, their voices cold and sharp as they addressed the lone cultivator before them. "Brat, didn't you hear us tell you to get lost?" They sneered, each tone laced with scorn and arrogance. Linghan's lips curled into a faint, unbothered smile. His gaze swept over the men, calm yet piercing, as if measuring the depth of a river hidden beneath ice. "You're quite pompous for people with weak abilities," he said, his words carrying the soft weight of disdain. One man, puffed with false pride, stepped forward. "Do you know who my young master is?" he demanded, chest swelling as if the name alone should command fear. Linghan's smile deepened, almost teasing. "Oh, who is it?" he replied lightly, exuding a serenity that was both infuriating and unnerving. "Jiang Tong, young Master Tong," the man declared, as if proclaiming his own importance. Linghan's eyes twinkled faintly. "Then by your logic, you are merely the lapdog of a lapdog, the so-called second dog," he murmured, each syllable a blade of mockery, the man's face twisted in rage, pointing furiously. "Are you tired of living?" Linghan tilted his head, voice laced with irony. "So this is how the majestic Heaven Sect treats its guests?" "Wrong," the man sneered, his figure bristling with malevolent intent. "We are not disciples of the majestic Heaven Sect, and thus need not be bound by its rules." With a sharp snap of his fingers, he beckoned his companions. "Brothers, let us teach this fellow a profound lesson." The other 3 men emerged with predatory grins, their eyes glowing like wolves who had cornered a small rabbit. Linghan remained calm, his aura emanating a subtle but profound depth, cultivated since he had ascended to the 5th mountain river tier. The oceanic depth of his presence, veiled and inscrutable, betrayed the true extent of his strength. Already at 7 stars beyond the pinnacle of the mountain river tier, a level most could scarcely comprehend, he regarded Jiang Tong, unruffled. "These dogs of yours bark madly, and you do nothing to restrain them?" he asked. Jiang Tong's expression darkened. He had initially dismissed Linghan, deeming him a trivial obstacle, a minor annoyance in the grand scheme of the majestic Heaven Sect's intrigues. Yet arrogance was expected from a follower of Lord Yang Hao, for the venerable master's intentions were to take Yang Hao as a personal disciple, a mark of distinction that justified boldness in any who followed him. "Beat all the teeth out of his mouth," Jiang Tong commanded icily, his will absolute. The 4 lackeys erupted in cold, sinister laughter, unaccustomed to the concept of restraint, accustomed only to acting brazenly under their master's shadow. Spectators quickly withdrew, wary of being entangled in the unfolding clash. But before the first strike could land, a figure in flowing green robes leapt from the crowd. Her presence was like a burst of spring wind, graceful yet unyielding. "You are all mere lackeys, and you dare to be so arrogant," she declared, her voice clear and resolute. Jiang Tong's eyes widened at her beauty, the cascade of her hair like a silken waterfall, skin fairer than the purest snow, and eyes large, bright, and mischievous, as if they could see through the deceit of the world. "Miss, how may I address you?" he asked, caught unprepared by both her radiance and her courage. "What do you care who I am? I cannot abide bullies who torment others at will," she declared, standing tall as a proud swan. From her side, a tall, sturdy man hurried forward, bowing repeatedly toward Jiang Tong and his henchmen. Apologies," he said, voice timid. "This is my junior sister disciple. She is rash in speech and action. Please forgive her." The crowd murmured at the stark contrast between the 2 disciples, one defiant and upright, the other cautious and hesitant. Jiang Tong's smirk was thin and cruel. "An apology alone will not suffice," he said, his eyes narrowing. "What do you intend, young Master Jiang?" the sturdy man asked cautiously. Jiang Tong's eyes glimmered with desire. "Since you have offended me, you must make amends. Why not join me for a drink at the heavenly distant restaurant later?" he proposed, his gaze fixed on the woman in green, an unmistakable possessive hunger in his tone. The beauty in Green's eyes flashed with indignation. "Why fear him? He is but a lackey," she said sharply, frustration rising like a storm tide. "Junior sister, do not cause trouble," the sturdy man protested, sighing, but the moment passed and he revealed his true might, Assuming a martial stance, his aura expanded dramatically, the timidity vanishing. "No one shall humiliate my junior sister," he declared, his presence commanding the space around him. Jiang Tong laughed, confident in his power. "So it turns out you are a fool. Apprehend him," he commanded, pointing with a finger of fatal precision. The 4 lackeys lunged at the tall man, expecting an easy victory. But the man, no longer timid, moved like a living spring, each punch radiating with divine patterns, his fists swelling 3 times larger than a human head, ash-coloured with a metallic sheen, waves of force radiating from wrist to shoulder. The blows landed with resounding thuds, peng, 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 peng. As he met each lackey with unmatched speed and elasticity, every punch consumed a divine pattern, yet the brief pause between blows allowed his energy to regenerate, a rhythm of fluctuating strength that mesmerized onlookers. The tall man's cultivation reached the late stage of the low-extreme mountain river tier. Of his foes, 3 matched his level, while 1 had risen to the peak of the low extreme. His first strike, therefore, was aimed at the strongest, a devastating blow of maximum force. The 4 lackeys accelerated their assault, relentless in their attempts to prevent the recovery of his divine patterns. Yet the sturdy man adapted, his punches regaining potency in the briefest moments, his martial prowess a dynamic dance of offense and regeneration. "I will not allow you to bully my senior brother," the woman in green shouted, drawing her sword. Her gaze blazed with fury, each movement infused with righteous wrath, ready to strike at any who dared challenge her will. The courtyard trembled with anticipation as these forces clashed, the air thick with the mingling of wrath, valor, and martial might, a vivid tableau of Wuxia legend unfolding before every witness, each heartbeat syncing with the rhythm of incoming strikes and the unyielding will of those who refused to bow. The courtyard of the majestic heaven sect trembled with tension, the air thick with the mingling scent of incense and battle qi. Jiang Tong's hand pressed outward with the serene ease of a master, yet the effect was anything but gentle. The young woman cloaked in green shuddered violently, as though an invisible mountain pressed upon her shoulders, threatening to collapse her into the dust. She wavered on her feet, barely clinging to her balance against the overwhelming aura of a mountain river tier consummate cultivator. Her cultivation, only at the early stage of the low extreme, was like a fragile candle flame before a raging storm. "Junior sister!" A sturdy man's shout rang out, laced with desperation. His limbs strained to reach her, but the 4 lackeys, each a cunning manipulator of martial arts technique, held him at bay. Even his immense strength could not breach their suppression. Helplessly, he could only watch the green-robed beauty struggle under the weight of Jiang Tong's pressure. Whispers arose from the gathered onlookers. Is this truly the majestic heaven sect? How can their disciples bear such arrogance? Alas, what can we do? We are outsiders, not their disciples. Their governance extends only to internal affairs. Another murmured. A third voice seethed with frustration. And yet that brat, Ling Han, stands aside as though this has nothing to do with him. Indeed, how ungrateful to watch idly while they risk everything for him. Ling Han heard each murmur, yet he remained unmoved, his gaze calm and unreadable. His eyes, however, were calculating, watching, measuring the potential of the sturdy man before him. He sought a moment, a crack, an opening to turn the tide. If none appeared, then the sturdy man would prove nothing more than raw, reckless power. "Senior brother, do not trouble yourself for me," the green-robed beauty gasped, her breath ragged under the relentless pressure. Her words were valiant, yet weak, trembling beneath the invisible weight of mountain river tier might. Rage erupted within the sturdy man. Black hair bristled as a golden halo spiraled from beneath his feet, coiling above his head before dissolving into the ether. 10 divine patterns ignited across his fists, each symbol a blazing testament to his martial resolve. With a thunderous roar, he struck. The 4 lackeys were sent hurtling through the air, wails of agony marking their flight. The onlookers flinched, stunned at the display of raw, unrestrained power. Ling Han's lips curved in a faint, amused smile. This display of sheer strength, unrefined yet potent, showcased a philosophy he rarely valued, brute force. And yet the sturdy man's determination radiated an almost invincible aura, each blow leaving a trail of overwhelming authority. "Release my junior sister." The shout tore through the air, raw and unyielding. He surged forward, a titan of strength confronting an unassailable wall. Zhang Tong's hand lifted, pressing a subtle yet deadly motion. Chains of origin power erupted like celestial serpents, entwining the sturdy man in an inescapable net. The difference in cultivation was vast. Even Ling Han, if brought to the low extreme, would struggle against such a consummate foe. Only a prodigy of extraordinary destiny could hope to pierce this barrier. "Senior brother," the green-robed beauty cried, her voice sharp with fear. Zhang Tong's laughter, light and cruel, echoed through the courtyard. "Fear not, I shall not harm him too much. But miss, your name, will you now reveal it?" Her glare, fierce and unyielding, met his gaze. Youth and inexperience shone in her defiance, yet Zhang Tong's control of the situation was absolute. The lackeys, crawling back to their feet, smiled with sinister intent, prepared to enact his cruel instructions once more. "I am called." Her voice trembled, eyes wide, as she struggled to suppress tears and fury alike. "Ha!" Ling Han stepped forward, his calm presence a blade in the air. "This lady's name shall not sully itself to such a scoundrel." With a gesture, he blocked her voice, denying Zhang Tong the satisfaction of dominance. The dark glint in Zhang Tong's eyes sharpened. He had orchestrated the scene perfectly, only to have this brat disrupt the rhythm. "What are you waiting for, you four? Strike him as he struck you!" The malice in his tone wove itself into the atmosphere, and the air seemed to pulse with lethal intent. The four lackeys advanced, bloodlust and shame twined together in their movements. They believed Ling Han to be weak, unaware of the latent force he had cultivated. Ling Han exhaled softly, raising a hand to snap his fingers. Swiftly, bursts of sword chi erupted. 4 blades of pure heavenly intent surged outward. The sheer might of regulations lent them an aura of collapse, of sky and earth bending beneath their strike. Each lackey's head shattered almost in unison, divine senses obliterated in an instant. Silence fell like a shroud. The gentle-looking youth before them wielded a power so resolute, so devastating, that even the spectators, seasoned in martial observation, could not suppress their awe. Ling Han's understanding of the sword had matured under the reincarnation tree, each strike now imbued with the absolute authority of the martial cosmos, unbound and relentless. But the true test lay ahead. Zhang Tong. Once a key disciple under Yang Hao, a prodigy even among elites, his power now reached a formidable 7-star level. Every glance he cast was sharp with judgment, every movement a promise of impending death to those who dared challenge him. A collective sigh of pity and apprehension rippled through the crowd. The youth's impetuousness had forced the hand of a cultivator whose might was near legendary. Even the majestic Heaven sect could hardly ignore such insolence. The stage was set. The battle between prodigy and aspirant, between legacy and rising force, was about to erupt with the thunderous roar of fate itself.